Welcome back to my channel Hidden Points. Today, we're diving into the psychology of the liar. Not the cartoon villain or the movie-style mastermind, but the real, everyday liar who walks through life with a heart that shakes and a mind that hides. A voice that twists itself into something that feels safer than the truth. Imagine a kid sitting at a kitchen table with a broken glass on the floor. A parent asks what happened, and the child says, "It was the wind," even though the entire house is silent. That early lie isn't about deception. It's about fear and survival. The moment you understand that, you will never look at a liar the same way again. A liar is rarely built through evil intentions. Much more often, they are forged through tiny moments of panic where the truth felt too dangerous to touch. Sometimes a liar grows up in a home where telling the truth leads to shouting, punishment, and coldness. Sometimes a liar grows in a home where no one listens unless the story is bigger, brighter, louder than reality. And sometimes a liar grows up in a home where they learn that truth never earns love, but lies can buy them a moment of safety. The liar learns early that truth is a fire and lying is water. They carry that survival trick into adulthood, turning it into a personality trait that can harm relationships, destroy trust, and break hearts. Yet beneath every lie, there is always a trembling reason. The psychology of the liar begins with the terror of being exposed. Imagine a man sitting across from his partner, knowing he spent the entire day doing nothing productive. The moment she asks how his day went, he says, "It was fine, I got things done." He says this because he's afraid that admitting he struggled will make him look weak and unworthy. Imagine a woman who smiles at her friends and says she is totally okay while her heart is breaking inside. She does this because if she tells the truth, she fears the world will see her as fragile and needy. Imagine a teenager who lies to their teacher, saying they forgot their homework at home, when in reality, they didn't understand it and felt too embarrassed to ask for help. When you start to see these scenarios, you'll understand that lying is rarely just about manipulation. It's about protection. The liar protects the image they believe others want to see. They protect themselves from shame, punishment, rejection, and disappointment. Sometimes they even protect someone else from a truth they think might break them. This makes lying a shield, a weapon, and a prison all at once. The liar becomes trapped in their own defense system, because once you start lying, you often have to keep lying. Once you build a false version of yourself, you have to maintain it. Every lie becomes another brick in the wall around your heart. The more you lie, the more you fear the truth, and the more you fear the truth, the more you lie. Eventually, the liar can forget the difference between who they are and who they pretend to be. The psychology behind this is rooted deeply in our nervous system. Lying is actually a stress response. The body sees the truth as a threat, and lying becomes a reflex shaped by fear and insecurity. Sometimes the liar fears intimacy because truth creates closeness, and closeness means vulnerability, and vulnerability means the possibility of pain. There are people who lie simply to avoid conflict. There are people who lie to avoid responsibility. There are people who lie because they believe the truth will make someone leave them. And there are people who lie because they believe no one can handle who they really are. Then there is the liar who lies to themselves. That is perhaps the most dangerous kind, because when a person lies to themselves for long enough, their brain begins to rewrite their memories to match their lies. Their identity starts to bend and twist. Sometimes the liar becomes so afraid of their true self that they hide it even in the dark, even when no one is watching. Psychologists call this self-deception, and it's one of the most powerful forms of emotional avoidance. Imagine someone standing in front of a mirror saying, "I'm fine, I'm strong, I need nothing from anyone," even though their heart is crying for help. They refuse to admit it because admitting the truth would break the entire armor they've built over years. So they lie to survive another day, another week, another relationship, until they eventually collapse under the weight of their own stories. You might think this makes liars hopeless, but that's not true. The liar is not a monster. They are a wounded storyteller. Underneath their lies, there is always a deeper truth begging to be known. The person who lies is often the person who is never shown how to tell the truth safely. The first step to healing for a liar is not punishment, but understanding. The liar must learn that truth doesn't always lead to pain. Truth doesn't always end in rejection. Truth can actually create love, intimacy, connection, and respect. This requires a deep psychological shift, where the liar learns to face the fear underneath the lie. Because the lie is only the symptom, the fear is the root. When the liar begins to understand why they lie, they gain the power to stop. Imagine someone who spent their entire life lying, suddenly whispering the truth to someone for the first time. Imagine the trembling voice, the racing heartbeat, the fear of being seen. And imagine that moment being met with understanding instead of attack. Suddenly, the liar discovers something new, something they never learned growing up. The truth can be safe. When that happens, they begin to break the cycle and transform their pattern. They start to realize that lying keeps them small, but truth sets them free. Lying protects their past, but truth protects their future. In the end, the psychology of the liar is the psychology of fear, shame, and a deep longing for safety. Once you understand the pain behind the lie, you will see the liar not as a villain, but as a human being desperate to be loved without pretending. And when a liar finally meets someone they don't have to lie to, that is when their healing truly begins. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content like this. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.